Welcome to the Psychology of Prosperity. I'm Monica Maria, psychologist for your soul. And today I want to share with you a story, a personal story of how I discovered plant medicine, which has been one of the tools that has absolutely transformed my life. That and breath work have been huge. And what I want to let you know is that there are so many incredible tools. There are so many incredible modalities and therapies and approaches, healing approaches that we can take in our lives. And I happen to really, really love plant medicine and breath work because, for one, it is ancestral, it is ancient. I happen to have an affinity for things that have been around for a really long time. I know some people may not vibe with what I'm about to say, but I actually really dislike human design. I have some kind of apathy to it, and it might be because it is more of like a newer therapy modality. I'm not quite sure so much about like the founder owner. But anyways, I digress. The reason that I want to share with you a little bit about plant medicine is because it is of the earth. It is such an amazing way for us to reconnect back with the essence of who we really are by being able to use this incredible medicine that the earth has provided for us. And so I'm going to rewind back to 2007. 2007, I was graduating from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York City, where I got my holistic health coaching certification. And really, this was the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey and the beginning of my professional experience of personal growth and development, focusing on holistic well-being. And I had a friend that I was graduating with. She was selling products, skincare products made with ingredients from the rainforest. And she said to me, when we're done, I'm going to the Peruvian Amazon and I'm going to participate in ceremonies and taking ayahuasca. Now, being a half Peruvian, I am half Colombian, half Peruvian, had never been to my fatherland. I immediately said, I didn't even know what she was saying, to be honest. I was just like, okay, wait, you're traveling, you're going to my fatherland, and I'm going to go with you. I immediately knew that it was a journey that I had to make, a pilgrimage, really. I was also experiencing severe asthmatic episodes, and I knew that there was a medicine that was going to support my lungs in the jungle, in the Peruvian jungle. And so we trekked it out. We flew to Iquitos, which is the northern part of Peru. And the next day went out by motorboat 2 hours deep into the Amazon River and found ourselves in this shamanic community built by a North American shaman. I believe he was from Canada, who has since then passed and had spent, I think, 11 years with the Shipibo tribe of Peru. And so we spent a week living in the jungle. I never felt more at home, more at peace than I did being living in the tree house, just being able to see the beautiful green landscape from the top of that tree house and being able to connect in with this beautiful ancestral medicine. So ayahuasca, as it is known here in Colombia as yahe, which is where I now live, my motherland, and where I assist my taita, which means father, the shaman here. Ayahuasca, yahe, is known as the grandmother, ayahuasca grandfather, yahe, of all medicinal plants, for the fact that it has such an amazing ability to help you to cleanse and heal and detox, not only on a physical level, but also on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level as well. And my first experience with with this plant medicine with ayahuasca was that I really wanted to understand where did my destructive behavior come from? At the time, as I mentioned, I was experiencing asthmatic episodes, and I was also in the process of changing habits that were self-destructive to my spirit, certainly dangerous on a physical level. I was drinking a lot. I was also just participating in other drug use because I was trying to soothe, trying to also numb out the pain that I was experiencing of remembering profound childhood trauma, relating with my father, relating with my mother, neglect, just thinking back at different instances of abuse that I have experienced throughout my life. And so I wanted to really get to the heart of what was causing me to engage in what I knew to be self-destructive behavior, and yet I continued to do. So talk about cognitive dissonance, right? And so I just knew that this medicine was going to support me, even though I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So there is a lot of talk about preparation, or what's known as la dieta, the diet that you must follow in order to prepare yourself to sit in a ayahuasca ceremony. And I'm going to say that if you are an extremely unhealthy person, like if you're eating mostly packaged, boxed food with a lot of preservatives, if you drink, if you smoke, if you are eating a lot of fried food, if you don't have a basic healthy lifestyle. And by healthy, I think sometimes people think they're healthy, but they're really not healthy. Like if you're eating all diet products and like light products, it is filled with chemicals, right? So by healthy is you're really maintaining a lifestyle that allows you to be connected to nature, that allows you to eat mostly whole, hopefully mostly organic, or local produce you are that you know like what your water sources are, that you're not drinking water just from plastic bottled waters, that you have good clean drinking water, that you have a way to manage your stress, that you're not engaging in over drinking or over consumption of like sugar, for example, or coffee. That if you have a basic healthy type of lifestyle, that you don't actually necessarily need to follow a specific diet for an extended period of time, except maybe for like, if it's your first time with ayahuasca, with yahe, that maybe you want to do pay attention to what you're eating that week, especially the day before, 2 days before, and the day of. You don't want to be consuming heavy, dense foods like red meat, animal flesh. Most people do eat fish or chicken the day that they are going to sit in ceremony, that you don't consume any spicy food, nothing like chilies, anything too acidic, like, sodas or milk for sure, like no dairy, just because it makes the experience a lot easier when you're arriving to ceremony on more so a relaxed digestive system, with a relaxed stomach, meaning you're not going to eat past like, I would say like maybe 3 o'clock. You want to keep it light, maybe eat some fruit, or just something very light in the evening. I sit in ceremony every single Saturday here in my motherland. I live in Armenia, which is a spiritual hub, a beautiful coffee producing city. It's a smaller city nestled within the Andes Mountains. And so every Saturday I sit in ceremony, and my protocol is I tend to avoid dairy products. I tend to avoid meat. I try to keep it low on the sugar and eat mostly, just eat light that day. I have my breakfast, I have my lunch, and then if happen to get hungry, I may have something small around 5 or 6 o'clock. And then I get to ceremony at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and close to midnight, we are ready. We're starting ceremony and we are ingesting the first dose. And so my experience with plant medicine, I think that there's so many misconceptions of what like what are the dangers of plant medicine, and how like what if you don't come back from a trip, as some people may refer to it, especially if you have experience with psychedelics. First of all, I just want to say that there's a huge misconception that you are hallucinating the on the medicine. And hallucination actually refers to seeing something that isn't there, right? Like you're seeing something that isn't real. You're having like a type of mirage experience. But what happens when you partake of the plant medicine, the ayahuasca, yahe, is that you're actually opening your third eye to be able to see what you normally cannot see, that is lacking in your ability to understand your life. Now, it is a scientific fact that the human eye cannot register about 97% of reality. The human eye just doesn't have the capacity to be able to see clearly past like 3%. So think about that. Just because you cannot see something does not mean that it is not real, right? And so what the medicine does is it allows us to open up our ability to perceive. And this is why it is also known as the mother, the grandmother, grandfather of all medicinal plants, is because again, it's not only supporting you once you're ingesting the medicine and it's going through your digestive system and it's going through your circulatory system, and feeding all of the cells and the organs of your body, cleansing you on a physical level. Yes, there is what's known as a purge, throwing up, or evacuating the other way, and maybe having diarrhea. I think that word diarrhea is so funny, but yeah, like that is totally possible. Or it could go out of both extremities, out of your mouth and well, right? So yes, that is possible. So it is cleansing your body on a physical level, but it's also cleansing your mind. It's helping you to be able to focus. It's helping you to go straight to the heart of what is it that you are experiencing in your life? What is the answer that you're seeking? What is the clarity that you're needing, the direction, the guidance? And it all boils down to the intention that you're walking into the ceremony, into the experience with, right? So there is healing that is occurring on all three levels: on the physical level, on the mental, emotional level, on the spiritual level. And this is why I absolutely love this medicine, and have been sitting. It'll be 10 years that I have been sitting with my taita here in Armenia, Colombia, and about 3 years that I have been intensely supporting and assisting every single Saturday. And it has really become such a huge part of my apprenticeship, in my own healing journey, in understanding and perceiving what people are needing, and at the moment really being able to physically assist people as they're going through this physical process. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are so many incredible modalities and therapies and tools. Like, I love astrology, I love tarot, I love using the chakra system, I love breath work, another amazing tool that changed my life, the way that that ayahuasca yahe has also changed in my life for me. But any tool, any practice that you are engaging in to heal, if it is not incorporating some type of embodiment process for you, then the healing process is not complete. And it won't ever be complete, because even though our true essence is spiritual, we are spirit in flesh and bone, we have bodies, right? There's a reason why we have these vehicles, and they help us to tap in, to sense, to feel through the body sensations. And it also serves as a file cabinet, in essence, of every single experience and memory and trauma that you have gone through ever since you have had the physical vessel. So that absolutely includes the gestation process as your body was being formed in your mother's womb. There were sensations, there were I forget exactly when it is that the ability to hear comes in, but ever since you have had a body, you have been recording all of the experiences, first and foremost with your mother and what she was experiencing, what she was going through emotionally, mentally, physically, and how that was impacting you, and then coming out of her, out of that portal, and stepping into your own independent physical experience. Your body has been making a type of record. And so oftentimes when we have traumas, or we have experiences that we have a difficult time, situations that we have a hard time changing in our lives, it is because we're not addressing the physical root where that energetic imprint is being stored. And it's in the cells. It's a cellular release that is required. And so ayahuasca yahe allows you to come back into communion, come back into connection with your body, with the sensations that maybe have been lost, with maybe memories that you have hidden away deep in your body's cells. And it's not to relive, it's not to re-trigger you, but it's to allow you to finally see from a different perspective, what was the experience that you have had in your life? How does it apply to you receiving the clarity and the direction that you're needing now to be able to address it in a different way versus a default way that you might not even be aware of, because it's sitting in your subconscious, and subconscious doesn't just relate to your mind. Your body is a form of subconscious. If you think about it, when as we go through our lives, I forget exactly like what the actual percentage is, but I think it's like, like 90% of our actions are done by default. We're moving from just an automatic response. Like, we get up, we're not thinking about how am I going to brush my teeth? How am I going to take a shower? You just do it, right? You don't think about, how am I going to walk? You're just walking, right? So the body is part of your subconscious. And in order for you to fully understand, what are you going through? How can you change a situation? How can you get to where you want to go? You do have to be aware of where exactly you are and where you have been. And that's why I absolutely love any modality, healing therapy approach that incorporates the body, and why also breath work is so extremely powerful. Besides the fact that it's readily available to you at any moment, besides the fact that it's readily available to you at any moment, that breath work just is such a simple tool to use. So this is my story of how I have found plant medicine. I actually went back to Peru the following year to sit a week in ceremony. And then I didn't sit in ceremony for almost 5 years. I came to Colombia on a vacation and I was having a chat with some friends. We went out to get some beers and I said, I was in Peru and I sat in ayahuasca ceremony and one of the guys said, "Oh, we have those ceremonies here." And I just thought, "Oh my God, tell me when, where, I want to go." The timing didn't work out for that instance, but when I came back, a couple of months later to Colombia, I called him up and I said, "Where is it? Tell me, I have to go, I have to make it." And he put me in touch with, I believe, a teacher of his in university who goes to ceremony, and I ended up at one of my Taita's assistants' homes who drove me to the ceremony, and I found myself, that was almost 10 years ago, in this beautiful ceremony space. And I am so honored and feel so blessed that I am with a beautiful community, which in essence has become my soul family. And one of the things that I do want to say in closing this video, that there is a lot of fear around this medicine and a lot of taboo, and there's been a lot of bad press, and it is true, there are people that can um die, and it's because, and have died and have maybe lost like their sense of their mental stability because they sat with someone that didn't know what they were doing, that was more motivated by money, as a lot of the medicine coming out of Peru has unfortunately become very commercialized, because I believe there was just like an explosion of the retreats and people that wanted to offer this medicine without having the proper instruction, without having the time in experiencing how to be able to support someone else with this in administering the medicine. And so I'm happy to say that, it's been 10 years for me. I know that my taita is absolutely just so knowledgeable, not only because he was born into this ancestry, but also just seeing all of the thousands and thousands of people that he has supported, that I have had the honor of also assisting in supporting as well. And so this is the story of my experience with plant medicine, how it came into my life. I can't tell you how many incredible things it has supported me to heal, apart from my lungs, apart from other ailments, including black mold intoxication, but the ability that it's given me to really understand myself, understand my mission, my purpose, help me to fine tune, to sharpen my psychic gifts, my intuitive sense, and to really step into leadership. And I'm just so grateful. So if you're curious, if you want to know more about plant medicine, if you are desiring to really know yourself, to have true gnosis, knowledge of self, to be able to guide yourself to heal on a physical level, to clarify what your purpose and mission is in life and how you are meant to go about it, then I encourage you to delve more into the topic. And if you're like me and you love to learn by doing, if you love adventure, then come and join me here in my motherland of Colombia for Journey to the Center of Your Heart. This is an intimate retreat for women. It is taking place February 12th to the 18th, and it is an opportunity for you to fully be immersed in this healing, profoundly deep healing experience, not only with ayahuasca, with yahe, but also with sacred tobacco medicines, as well as with the experience of being surrounded by nature, being immersed in the beautiful green lush lands of this part of the country. This is the center of the coffee production of the entire country. We're going to be making drums. You're going to be taking your own drum with you back home so that you can use in your own personal ceremonies, or perhaps leading others in with your work, and maybe in your own retreats, and also experiencing Temescal Sweat Lodge. So this is an invitation to join me for this profoundly beautiful healing adventure. If you're a woman on a mission, come and join me. There's more information below. Bye, everyone.